Our planet is absolutely brimming with water. More than 300 million cubic miles of the stuff covering nearly 3/4 of the globe. But somehow there isn't enough to go around. That's because only 2.5% of all water on Earth is the fresh water humans need to grow food, to drink, in short, to survive. Of that, only 1.2% isn't locked away underground or frozen in glaciers. The end result is an accessible freshwater supply of less than 1% of all water on Earth. Knowing this, it begs the question, why are we behind the curve on water scarcity? About 4 billion people throughout the world live in water-stressed regions.
And of those 4 billion, half of them, a quarter of our world's population, face extremely high water stress. So in those places, demand likely exceeds the amount of available supply that's there. And so you see people competing over the resource. According to the Aqueduct projections data, we can see the population living in countries with extreme water stress could double by 2050.
So why is this happening? It's a complex problem, and it has a range of causes. Let's dive into 3 big ones. Climate change. It's pushing rain clouds away from the equator and toward the poles. That phenomenon, called Hadley cell expansion, means already dry regions, including the American Southwest, get even less rain.
We're moving into the 22nd year of a mega drought in Western North America. Effectively, the entire region has been in more or less continuous drought conditions since 2000, since the turn of the 21st century. And this is really exemplified by the record low levels of water storage in Lake Powell and Lake Mead, the 2 largest and most important water reservoirs in Western North America. As these water resources dry up, as these reservoirs decline, then that starts to put really immense pressure on the millions of people and industries in Western North America that rely on water.
At the same time, climate change is increasing rainfall in other areas of the globe, leading to catastrophic flooding that often pollutes water sources and further strains supply. Second reason, more people, more demand for water. The global population will grow from just under 8 billion right now to nearly 10 billion by 2050. Agriculture already accounts for 70% of freshwater usage today. More people, more stress on the water supply that powers food production. Water use increased at nearly twice the rate of population growth in the 20th century, and projections don't anticipate a slowdown. Third, infrastructure. Leaky pipes, for example, lose 6 billion gallons of water per day just in the US. It's not just infrastructure. Inefficient irrigation systems, pollution, and a failure to recycle wastewater drive scarcity as well. So, what can be done about it? Here's the oasis of good news. There are things all of us can do to help, from the individual to the municipal levels.
Singapore is a country that has very limited water supply within its own borders. And one of the many tools that they use is recycling wastewater. That's basically when we take water that we normally flush down our drains, right, after a shower, after brushing our teeth. We'll treat it and put it back into the ocean or into our rivers. Well, instead of putting it back into the water supply, we can treat it to a point that we could just reuse that water again, right? It is this great tool to help alleviate water scarcity, but alone it doesn't solve the problem.
At the corporate level, industries and businesses can follow regulations, modify equipment, and improve technologies. Individuals can install eco-friendly faucets and appliances, like Moen's kitchen and bathroom faucets, which use up to 1/3 less water.
Thinking about Singapore, right, they're a model for excellent water resource management. They're not alone. There are other places, including Las Vegas in the United States, these places that don't have the water supply and have thought a lot about how they could manage the resource. And it shows us that water stress isn't our destiny. It is something we can manage, but we have to be actively managing and actively thinking about it.
As climate change decreases supply, population increases demand, and weakened infrastructure wastes fresh water, we're facing a dry future. But there are remedies. Raising awareness, not only of the problem, but also of the fact that there's plenty to do about it, could turn on the faucet of solutions.